Countries and people in those countries that hate us about to get more money from us. Yep, tucked inside that new $1 trillion spending bill is nearly $50 billion in your money in new foreign aid. But with our debt now topping $18 trillion, some here say it's time to cut it all off. John, I think that's what you believe, right?
Well, you know, the basic truth is that well-run countries do not need foreign aid, but corrupt countries frequently do need foreign aid. So the idea that the American worker should be on the hook for the alleged well-being of corrupt countries is a really bad one. We've got to think about all the companies and jobs never created because we're foisting money on other countries that never works, and it retards our growth in the bargain.
And Bill Baldwin, just look at some of these countries that hate us and we've given a lot of money to over the past 5 years.
Well, I wouldn't go with John in totally eliminating foreign aid, but I would be much more selective about who gets the aid. What I would do is have a competition among countries. They would be scored for women's rights, democracy, and property rights. There would be one winner, and the citizens of that winning country would get $100 bills. I think that would create a great incentive for a change in the third world.
Rich, I'm kind of a simple guy, and I believe that the more complex, the more rules you add on to government spending programs, the worse they get.
Look, I think we should take that $50 billion, or at least some of it, let's say half of it, and you know, I think we should put it into military technology. We're, you know, in a very dangerous world. We've got cyber threats from North Korea. You know, we've got China wanting to conquer space. We've got to be able to compete in these areas, and it takes money.
And Steve, we have businesses that want a tax break. This is our tax dollars going to this.
Well, that's right. And it's one thing to have aid for diseases, fighting diseases like Ebola, or military assistance to allies like Israel in fighting ISIS. But that $50 billion, over $30 billion, goes for so-called economic development, which just in most cases feeds corruption and hurts countries rather than help them. The continent that's gotten the most aid, Africa, has suffered the most in terms of economic growth. It goes hand in hand.
And talk about corruption, Sabrina, you go to any airport in Africa and you're going to be hit right off the bat with people asking for bribes. I mean, these countries are thoroughly corrupt, and a lot of that money that goes to them from us goes right to Swiss bank accounts.
Right, and look, I mean, I think that there are some good individuals working at places like USAID. My sister-in-law is one of them. There are people who really have done a lot because they believe that America is a thriving democracy and we have a role to play in helping others. But I think it's important to take a step back and realize that as a country, we are very charitable, and we have lots of NGOs that are out there who are also helping people. So if government takes a step back, organizations like Doctors Without Borders or the AHA Foundation, which is helping women and girls around the globe, they will take a step forward. And so there's lots of things that we can still do to help people in these parts of the world.
And Bill, to your point, by the way, I should mention something about Libya, because we have been giving money to Libya. We're promising to give money to Libya if, and there's a big if there, they help us with the Benghazi investigation. So we are putting provisos on this. But even without the provisos like that for Libya, so much of our aid is being wasted to corrupt politicians who send it off to Switzerland.
Yeah, but you could be a lot more selective about it. And let's add a fourth. Wait a minute.
When has that ever been successful? When has that ever been successful?
Measure to my little competition. How about corruption?
Well,
if you're low on corruption, you got a better chance of winning money.
Yeah, but John Tam, who is low in corruption? Let me put it in the positive way. In this world, you're never going to find a way of keeping the corrupt people from getting their hands off of that money.
Yeah. The ones that are low in corruption quite simply don't need foreign aid.
Well,
so what we keep talking about is funding the countries that are corrupt, and it's achieving nothing. I don't see why the American worker should suffer reduced economic growth so that we can fund corrupt politicians around the world.
Rich, it's like what we were saying before about natural gas in the United States. You know, the market knows how to deal with things. The good market companies don't need government help, and it's the same with countries.
Yeah, you know, I think aid in Africa is better done by NGOs, churches, Doctors Without Borders, organizations like that. I'm with Steve. You know, the $30 billion out of that 50 that's probably wasted, and that should go into, as I said before, really boosting our military technology.
Sabrina, do you think this is ever going to change? I mean, I think it's always been thus that the corrupt people manage to get their sticky hands on this money. I don't think it's going to change. Do you?
Well, yeah, we're on a sort of path dependency here, and I think you're right. We have a problem. It's going to be hard to reverse it. That being said, I don't think we need to, be completely disregard all aid programs. I think we are sort of the city on the hill. We want to at least appear as if we care about other people around the world. I think it's important that we do a little bit, but we can't be giving to the Fatah Hamas government and disregarding our own best interests.
Last word from Sabrina again. Coming up, why releasing the CIA torture report may actually do more than embolden their enemies. It may threaten our economy. That's at the bottom of the hour. But first, the IRS blaming budget cuts for handing out billions of dollars in bogus tax breaks. History may show that's one bogus excuse.
The conversation.